Hello, my friends, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a love reading, but it's going to be a little different. I want to know what Spirit wants you to know about your current love situation or about what is coming towards you. This is, this is not specifically a love oracle deck. It is an oracle deck, but I felt called to do. What do you need to hear about this? What do you need to hear about your love life right now? So we're just going to get right into it. We're just going to jump right in. We have flexible. So the energy behind flexible is about compromise. It's about building a bridge. It can be about building a bridge. It can also be about the fact that you may be dealing with someone who is not your normal type. Maybe this is someone who differs from your, usual type. But the message behind this card is be flexible. You'll be glad you were flexible. And, I'm talking about, again, in a way when it comes to like this person may not be your regular type. Maybe there's something about this person where you're being called to compromise. Is this the card? I'm hearing letting go of rigidity. You don't always have to be right. So take that as it resonates. Could be that you are connecting to someone who is letting go of rigidity and realizing they don't need to be right. I'm hearing... with that energy, that's a bit of distorted energy when you feel like you need to prove a point, or you feel like you need to have the last word, or you feel like you need to be right. That's, when we talk about distorted feminine and masculine energy, that's distorted energy. And we have new life here. So new life could be being breathed into a situation where you're asking to be flexible. One thing I'm hearing is maybe you are someone who, again, maybe this is someone new who's not your usual type. Maybe they're younger than you're used to, or maybe they're, completely different from you. Maybe you're really grounded and introverted and they're like super extroverted, or maybe you don't have any children and they have, 3 children. Take it as it resonates. Okay, we have yin energy. So the other thing I was hearing with flexible and new life and that letting go of rigidity is I was hearing resentments. I was hearing, again, that distorted energy where like maybe this is someone you've had a wall up, or you've Queen of Swords. We do have yin energy. So right now you're meant to be receptive and open to whatever this situation is, whether it's compromising with someone from the past, or you have something new in your life where they're not your usual type, and maybe you're, concerned about where it's going to go or what's going to end up happening. Yin is divine feminine energy. We have 2 here, which is High Priestess. So you could be a divine feminine or resonate with divine feminine energy, not talking about gender. And I feel called to read. We also have Poised, which is an energy of like, open to whatever comes towards you. Be open to this. Very interesting. I have a little bit of goosebumps as I'm looking at this card, so I'm gonna read you the love message from it. I opened up to flexible. In every relationship, it's important to be open to new experiences and trying new things. Letting go of rigidity is what's required now. You don't always have to be right all the time, do you? It's okay to come to a happy compromise. You can still get your needs met. It's a beautiful day when you meet halfway. The appearance of this card can also signal you have met someone who may not be your type, but who will turn out to be so special that you can easily release your old ideas about what sort of partner is right for you. Be flexible, you'll be happy you made that choice. I opened up to it for a reason. It's also 19, which is divine masculine energy, sun energy, sorry. So relationship message, let others take the lead right now. Your power lies in small gestures, soft awareness, and conscious surrender. By yielding the reins, you will find yourself effortlessly moving closer to what you truly desire. Permit others to tell you who they are and who they can be to you by allowing their actions to speak about them. You will be pleasantly surprised. And this talks about letting someone else make the first move, gathering information and taking in cues, the art of conscious allowing. And it's on page 4, which is Emperor energy. Anyway, let's do one more shuffle. This could be someone you met very serendipitously. You know, maybe this is not something you were looking for, because I saw the serendipitous card. We have peace, and we have a dove, which can chop wood. It could have been that this is something that, you know, was removed from your life for a time. Let's look at this peace card. I don't want to jump ahead here. 23. Oh my. When two people are in true alignment with another, they have an innate harmony between them. There's two perfectly tuned instruments playing together. Sometimes it's impossible to tell who is who. Peace is yours, and it is to be savored. Freedom from attachment. So it feels like this could be something that you released your attachment over, you know, with that. It's a very feminine energy here of like, you know, allowing, surrendering. Perhaps, you know, you've released your attachment to this person. Perhaps you released a codependent attachment. You know, this is an interesting one because the energy is coming through where you're open and allowing for whatever needs to come towards you. And, you know, again, that flexible card and new life, it could either be compromise with someone that you released an attachment to, or it's someone new that's, you know, not your usual type. Interesting. So let's see what you need to hear about love, my friend. We have why. Why? Why? So, this is interesting. I feel like the energy I'm picking up on with the combination of these cards is I feel like you had to release attachment from a connection, possibly a counterpart, because I'm getting a lot of divine feminine, divine masculine signs and synchronicities. And with this why, there's an energy of whatever the situation was, it was meant to teach you about yourself. It was meant to cause you to self-reflect on your own behaviors. You could have been quite triggered in this connection. You could have behaved in ways that, you know, didn't even feel like they were you at times, I'm hearing. And with that energy of new life, it could be that, you've spent a lot of time reflecting on how you show up in relationships, and especially because of this relationship. And again, thinking back to that flexible card, this person might have not been your usual type, in the fact that maybe, they did trigger you a lot. Maybe there was, things that they did that if anybody else did them, you'd be like, nope. With that chop wood, I'm also getting the energy that this was a connection that, again, maybe you had to release attachments to, or it caused you to release old versions of yourself. Anyway, we have why here. We don't always know why we engage in our relationships in the way we do, because our feelings aren't always logical. Now is the time to recognize whether you are being triggered by someone else, or if your behavior is motivated by unresolved issues in the past. And remember, again, that flexibility card and talking about letting go of rigidity. You don't always have to be right. So there is this energy of, you could have thought that some of the ways you were behaving was this person's fault. But Spirit's saying it could have to do with unresolved trauma in your past. And it's not actually this person who, is, I feel like they're triggering an unhealed wound within you, is what this is saying. When you ask yourself, why am I feeling like this? Why did I say that? And spend some time in introspection, the answers may be surprising. Listen to the messages from your intuition, from the knowing deep within you. What does it tell you about yourself and others? In the end, life is all about being loved. Miracles, a deep understanding of your needs, and how to get them met are the buried treasures of why. And the flexible card talked about having your needs met as well. So it could have been that this person wasn't meeting your needs. Listen, distorted feminine energy. I was talking about distorted feminine and distorted masculine energy. So distorted feminine energy can have to do with unrealistic expectations or unspoken expectations. And I'm not saying you were doing it on purpose, but you could be someone where this person wasn't meeting your needs. But maybe you didn't know maybe by them not meeting your needs, they were triggering a childhood wound within you where your parents didn't meet your needs. I'm seeing the 6 of Wands. So someone who possibly created this feeling or triggered this feeling within you where you felt neglected or unseen or unloved. But really that came from a childhood wound or a past connection where you felt unloved and neglected and unseen. Oftentimes when somebody triggers a feeling within us, it's because they're opening a past wound that has nothing to do with them. Maybe it does have to do with them and it's never been resolved. Or maybe they're triggering like a deep unhealed childhood wound. For some reason, the example of feeling unseen and feeling neglected and feeling like this person wasn't meeting your expectations because maybe as a child you felt that way and your parents didn't meet your expectations. Does that make sense? This feels very like you and this person could have been in distorted feminine and distorted masculine energy. Triggering each other. And anyway, so miracles and the deep understanding of your needs and how to get them met are the buried treasures of why. Uncover them by posing the most powerful question you can ask yourself and your partner today: why? So it feels like you and this person have spent time reflecting on the why, And I think that you've spent time reflecting on this. Anyway. And if you haven't, then this is your message to do that. So like I said, I was feeling with that flexible card, you could be letting go of rigidity is what's required. You could be someone with your sword up saying, it's all my person's fault. They did this, they did that. It's all their fault. And Spirit's telling you, you need to look within. I heard a really interesting thing the other day that says when we blame others, when we place the blame on others, it shows a lack of self-awareness within us, or it shows something unhealed within us. Anyway, I don't want to trigger anyone. I'm not trying to invalidate your feelings or anything like that. We have unfinished symphony and flexible. So there's something unfinished is what it feels like between you and this person. And there's going to be, you know, a moment of compromise, fork in the road. There's going to be the potential of a rebirth here. Music could be symbolic. 10, Wheel of Fortune energy. Again, you could have been stuck in a cycle of repeat with, like, I'm seeing like someone who I'm hearing so much. Hang on. Like, I'm seeing the energy of unhealed wounds causing turbulence and connections, maybe not just with this person, maybe with multiple people. Like, maybe this is something that you've repeated in many connections, or vice versa. Like, it could be the person that you're attached to. That's where this energy is coming from, where they, you know, instead of reflecting and healing and learning about themselves, maybe they just kept repeating this cycle. Unfinished. Moving on is difficult when love lingers. There's something unfinished between you and this person. And yeah, you haven't had the opportunity for closure in your relationship and in your heart. You can still feel bound up in relationships when closure is denied you. It's important to achieve this for yourself. Write that letter, make that call, or have a conversation over a cup of coffee. For peace of mind, accept matters as they are and make amends if need be, and declare your feelings if only to yourself. Be clear about what was left unresolved and close the door on the past so that you can set yourself free. Only then can a new beginning blossom. And we have flexible here again. So again, there's an energy of you coming into alignment with someone, and it could be compromising with this past person after lessons learned, or it could be new love. We'll get one more card. Right now, like both energies are coming through. We have By the Book and Message in a Bottle. And By the Book is 11. And it could be that one thing that I hear with By the Book, especially with all the twin flame energy in this reading that I'm feeling, is I feel like, you know, you could be going through the motions of a twin flame journey, and it feels like you have to go by the book. And what I mean by that is, on the twin flame journey, there are things that need to happen. And what I'm hearing is You could be someone that wanted to rush that process or chase it or control it. And this by the book energy is, you know, telling me that things need to be done by the book here, which means self-work, healing, shadow work, not chasing, working on your self-love, things like that. And you could be someone who has been doing things by the book, you know, is what I'm hearing. Getting along with others entails understanding and respecting who they have become as a result of their environment, culture, and experience. Find the middle ground that allows the relationship to flourish while honoring the individuality of the other person. Play things by the book instead of trying to break the rules or pressure others to conform to the way you want to do them. Your connection will deepen as a result. So listen, this is what I was hearing. Like, you could have been someone who tried to control this situation, or maybe you had an idea of, like, maybe you tried to conform this person in some way, even like in terms of healing. I'm struggling because I'm getting a lot of counterpart messages, and then there's this energy of new love. So I'm struggling with what message wants to come through here, if I'm being brutally honest. The thing that I was hearing again with the why, you could have been someone that I'm going to say you could have labeled this person, or you could have had that sword up and like it's all their fault. Just thinking back to the energy that's coming through in these cards. And it could be that you were dealing with someone who had a lot of wounding. Like, you could have had wounding, they could have had wounding. This could have been someone who grew up, you know, or grew up with trauma, or grew up with like, I can't help it, I'm hearing that narcissist label again. So you could have, you know, labeled this person a narcissist and blamed them, because there's this energy about looking within here. And again, realizing that there's something about acceptance here and unconditional love. Again, if I'm not making sense, I apologize, but like, this is feeling very counterpart energy to me. You know, where maybe at one time you thought it was all this person's fault, but now after reflection, you're seeing, you know, things about yourself, and that this person is a result of their experience and their upbringing, you know, if that makes sense. And then on the bottom, we have message in a bottle. So perhaps you're coming into, kind of what I'm seeing here is surrender and that feminine energy of yin. I'm seeing you open to whatever comes towards you. I'm seeing you as someone who, again, maybe in the past you thought it, you know, was this person's problem, when really it was something within you that was being triggered. I'm kind of seeing the energy of release here with unfinished symphony. So you could be someone who's trying to make amends or make peace within and release them energetically, do things by the book, realizing that, you know, you can't control the outcome, you can't control the situation. And you could be getting signs and synchronicities about this, because we have the message card and it's communication, a sign. So the words, like the things that we're hearing coming through in this reading, we're hearing compromise, finding the middle ground, communication, you know, having a chat about like having a conversation with this person. I'm not saying you're reaching out to them, but there's something here about finding the middle ground and communication between the two of you coming up, it feels like. And again, the need to let go of rigidity, the need to let down those walls a little is what I'm hearing. So you can expect someone to favor you with positive news. This could be in the form of a letter, phone call, or email. You are the intended receiver of this message, so stay open to what you learn. Only good things will come of it in the end. The signs are all there. And I think it's interesting because this energy is, you know, the energy of going within, learning about yourself, learning about why you show up in relationships the way you do, why you showed up in this connection the way you did, maybe why this person's actions bothered you or triggered you so much. And it says stay open to what you learn. So I feel like there's an indication here that this person has been doing something very similar and they want to express this to you. Anyway, I feel the need to get one more. We have here and now. Being fully present in the moment, living one day at a time. All right. Listen to this, because this is your advice. Like, after all of that, what's coming through is to take this one day at a time, to live, you know, seriously, live for each moment, each day as it comes. I was hearing something about, remember how I was saying maybe you were, you know, holding on to a version of this person that you thought you could control. And what I mean by that is, you know, there was a message in this card about accepting this person for where it is they came from and how their experience in their past has shaped who they are, just like your experience in your past has shaped who you are. Anyway, I don't know. So let your heart trust that you have everything you need right now, whether you have the relationship you desire or not. Tomorrow is beyond your reach. Yesterday cannot return. The now is all that's available to you. Stay present and aware in this moment. As you cherish and approve your beautiful self, you are a magnet for love. Spirit is madly in love with you right now. Did you know that? Turn into the spirit. Turn to spirit to feel the joy of love in the here and now. So to me, this feels like, again, playing things by the book when it comes to this counterpart connection. This is what it feels like to me. This is the energy that's coming through. And living one day at a time, you know, not living and resenting a past version of this person or holding on to a future version of them that you don't know if it exists. Right now is about focusing on you, your present moment. If you look at this card, this person is right where they need to be. And I feel like this is bringing you into alignment with either this person coming back, because again, we're hearing a conversation, finding the middle ground, compromising, or surrendering to the future of new love, you know? And what I mean by that is just not worrying about when new love is going to come in and how you're going to meet the new love and what's your new love going to be like, but focusing on today, right now, focusing on yourself and just living in the present moment. Trusting in your intuition is really important here. Yin energy, You know, receptivity, allowing others to make the first move. Focusing on yourself, Empress energy. Okay, so let's see what Tarot has to say about this. We'll see. So what do you need to hear about this? We have the Wheel of Fortune, unfinished symphony. I'm not gonna lie, this feels... We have the Emperor. That's exactly what I was just gonna say. I'm not gonna lie, this feels very counterpart energy. Oh, we have the Emperor and the Sun. Flexibility was 19. And yin energy was on page 4, Emperor energy, which I was talking about. So it feels like right now you're supposed to be releasing control over the situation. So what advice do you need about love from your guides right now? We have the Hermit. So again, this Y card is Hermit energy, you know, exploring yourself, doing the inner work, healing. You know, you could be in isolation and separation from this person right now in order for soul growth, is what I'm hearing. And we have the Hanged Man, separation. So this separation is meant to, again, I'm hearing counterparts doing things by the book, you know. A lot of feminines go through that thought process that maybe I'm different. Maybe I can be with my counterpart and still heal. Maybe we can heal together. And the thing is that a certain amount of healing on both sides needs to happen before you can come back together. And this energy is saying, you know, cycles are playing out. You and this person are trying to come into alignment energetically. And it happens through self-reflection and work on self and being in separation by the book, is what I'm hearing. You know, by the book of Twin Flames. But interesting. Let's see what you need to hear about this connection. We have the Nine of Swords and the Ace of Cups. So that's really interesting coming out underneath Y, because the Ace of Cups is about self-love, and I feel, yeah, exactly. So coming underneath this Y card, the Ace of Cups and the Nine of Swords, I hope I can finish. I have to give my cat medicine in 5 minutes, so hopefully I can finish this thought before I have to pause it. But there's something here about exploring your triggers and exploring... I need to read that Y card again, but maybe, you know, some of the anxiety in this connection, maybe some of the sleepless nights, maybe some of the conflict came from a lack of self-love on your side, on their side. I'm thinking both sides. And then we have the Five of Swords here, which is about self-sabotage, you know, which is about, that Y card is about looking at yourself and your own triggers, and how our triggers self-sabotage our connections, or the way we were raised sabotages our connections. We don't always know why we engage in our relationships the way we do. Are you being triggered by someone else? Or is it unresolved issues from your past, you know? And I feel like that goes both ways. Mother wounds, we have the Queen of Pentacles here. So you could have mother wounds or parental wounds, or your person could. And, you know, there's something here about Five of Swords, you know, self-sabotage. And I feel like somebody in this connection could have showed up in not the greatest way, in a self-sabotaging way, possibly both of you. And, you know, I'm also hearing, like, if you're in the mindset that I didn't do anything wrong, it's all this person. That's why this card is coming out. Because Spirit's saying, no, it's not all that person. It's both of you. It's never just one person. Anyway, so I'm going to pause it and give my cat their meds. I'll be right back. I just had a really weird thing happen right after I hit pause. And I just wanted to say, like, you could have showed up in this connection. Swords could have been thrown, you know, based on internal conflict within you or your person or both. You know, this person could have there's something here about the way you were both raised. And about how maybe it came out in this connection when really it was something internal. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going. So let's look at unfinished symphony. We have justice and temperance and the 9 of Pentacles and the 7 of Pentacles. That, my friends, that is a message and a half. And I don't ever take, like, when that many cards come out, I was told to take all of those cards for unfinished symphony. And it shows that it is unfinished. There's still something to come here. Something still needs to come into balance. And that's why this, you know, by the book is here. You have to play things by the book here. My counterparts, I feel like this is a counterpart reading. I'm just going to go all in divine timing, you know, there will be closure, there will be justice. 7 of Pentacles is an energy of waiting. So this conversation, this unfinished symphony, this closure, this justice isn't ready to happen yet. And that's why we have the here and now and by the book. It's coming in divine timing, temperance. Once you both are in a more stable energy, that's why the Hermit came out, because right now the two of you are meant to be reflecting and learning about yourselves and evolving and becoming more confident, evolved, improved versions of yourselves. So it feels to me like this 9 of Pentacles, there's still work that's being done independently in both of your lives. And this is still manifesting, 7 of Pentacles. And this unfinished symphony, justice will come in divine timing. Once the two of you come into that aligned energy that we saw the Peace card about being in alignment, I feel like this separation is meant to bring you both back into alignment. Again, I'm hearing, like, I'm seeing Baba Jolie. I don't know if you watch her, but you know, she does twin flame readings. And when she discusses the twin flames, she talks about how they come together as magnets and then they start to trigger each other in ways where they need to improve and heal and grow and evolve. And until that growth happens, they start to repel each other. And then once that work is done, the 9 of Pentacles, divine timing, things start coming into balance. That's when they start to attract again. Anyway. And we've got King of Swords on the bottom. So this unfinished symphony, there is a conversation that needs to happen. And it could be that someone, you know, doesn't have the strength to have this conversation right now, because we have strength and the King of Swords. It feels like this may be a triggering conversation, you know? And what I'm seeing is this conversation will happen, justice will happen once you're both more in alignment and you're both more in that divine feminine, divine masculine balanced energy. And there's been soul growth and improvement, Nine of Pentacles. So let's look at by the book, because for that one I was hearing like your upbringing or your experiences could have played a part in this connection. We have, you have a lot of cards coming out. There's a lot of energy coming out. So for by the book, we have Judgment and Star. And we have Queen of Cups and Seven of Wands. So remember I was hearing parental wounds. There could have been mother wounds here. And this person or you, based on, you know, your upbringing, there could have been a lot of deflection here, defenses. Like you and this person could have been very defensive with each other because of the way you were raised. The Queen of Cups also, you know, talks about self-love, and I was talking about how perhaps, you know, perhaps some of the ways you showed up in this connection or they showed up in this connection came from a place of lack of self-love. The other thing I'm seeing is by the book. And we have this Queen of Cups and the Seven of Wands. So what I was hearing is you could be someone who thought you could just love this person into, like you could have really tried to fight for this connection. You could have thought like, if I just love this person enough, if I just give them enough, if I just give them enough of myself and my time and my energy and my love and if I just fight for it, you know, I can make it work. I can control the situation. And I feel like you hit this, I feel like you hit a wall, you know? And again, there's that energy of doing things by the book when it comes to the counterpart connection. So allowing for separation, allowing for reflection, allowing for soul growth and transformation, and surrender and all of those things that when you're on the twin flame journey, it sounds like it's going to take forever. It sounds like, why would I even want to invest in that? I get emails from people who are like, I don't want this. I didn't ask for this. I don't care if I serve my life purpose. Just remove this person from my energy. It's going to take too long. And we all, like, that's completely normal to feel that way. But you could have been someone who thought, I don't want to say cut corners, but you could have been someone who thought it could be different for you. It could happen faster. And there's this energy that all of these other components need to happen. This is a very intense reading. This is really intense. And again, you could have been very open and giving and loving to this person, and they could have been very defensive or pushed you away or blocked this connection based on their experience and their upbringing. Now, by the book, we have the Star and Judgment. So again, there's this energy that perhaps, you know, healing, well, no, not perhaps. Healing does have to happen. But again, it could be that past experiences need to be healed and released by the book. You know, there's something here about surrendering judgment as well towards this person, towards yourself, whatever that is. Because that by the book card talks about how people are who they are because of their upbringing and their experiences up to this point. There is something here too about a reconnection with the Star and Judgment. That's, you know, that's an honest healing conversation. And it's going to be a hard conversation, I feel, or it's going to be triggering. It's going to test these things that you've been reflecting on. And again, there's a message that this is going to happen in divine timing for all of you, you know? And time is just an illusion. Anyway, so by the book, there are things that need to be, like I said, separation needs to happen. Realizations need to happen. Healing needs to happen. Release needs to happen. Trusting in your intuition needs to happen. Judgment, releasing our former selves. Self-reflection needs to happen. Judgment. So the here and now seems to me like you could be someone who is, you know, again, you could be in very feminine energy trying to release the outcome of the situation, but we'll see what comes out through tarot. And this by the book, this is so interesting. This is kind of magical, this reading, because I keep talking about how things have to happen a certain way, that realizations need to be had, self-love needs to happen, reflection needs to happen, hermit energy, judgment energy, hanged man energy, like healing, it all needs to happen. And we have this 5 of Wands in reverse here, which is about blockages. So it's like once this stuff happens, that's when the blockages come down. And you meet each other halfway. You come back together to see if you can heal, move forward on this journey together, continuing healing together. But I have to say, like, I used to be someone who was like, I don't believe in separation. I can be the exception. And separation has to happen if union is going to happen. Like all of that big energy needs to happen. All of those life changes, the tower moments, the awakenings. If you two are really going to come back into union, you know? Let's look at the here and now. What is your advice? Well, isn't that interesting? So we have the 3 of Wands, which is about the future, right? It's about future progress. It's about forward movement, future. And then we have the 6 of Cups, which is about the past. And we have this past and future, the here and now, and we have the Lovers. So, you know, for me, I'm hearing choosing yourself, Lovers energy, trusting in this divine love connection. The Lovers is about, it's about many things, but it can be about a divine connection between 2 divine beings. Oh, look, I opened right up to it. That's magic. The Lovers is blessed and divine love. This card embodies harmony, the symbolization of union in a grand and cosmic sense between 2 opposing forces. The trust and unity that the Lovers have gives each of them the confidence and strength, empowering the other. And there's this energy here about you having the confidence and strength to trust your intuition when it comes to this connection, and to focus on yourself, knowing that the 2 of you are connected, and anything that you pour into yourself, you are also pouring into this divine connection. There could be a choice coming, but there's a very, like, this here and now with the Lovers being, you know, sandwiched in between 3 of Wands and 6 of Cups is like just magic. It's that synchronicity is magic to me. And it's showing that you and this person are somewhere in between the future and the past, you know? And there's also a message here about, you know, healing childhood wounds. And knowing that even if this person isn't coming towards you right now or taking that action or communicating with you, they think about it. 6 of Cups. They're very nostalgic. And if you look at this image, both of these people, that's the Emperor and the Empress. And the Emperor is kind of facing that way, and the Empress is facing this way. So, you know, there is a message about trusting in this connection. And I know it doesn't make logical sense. It doesn't make logical sense. The cards you have coming out are insane. Like the way that they're really lining up with those oracle cards, it's beautiful. So right now, focus on moving forward. Don't stay stuck in the past. You know, don't stay stuck and attached to a past version of this person, because the truth is you don't know who this person is anymore. You know, I feel like they're changing and evolving just like you are. Don't stay stuck to that past version of yourself. Hang on. I got interrupted because of the cat medication, so I don't even... Let me try and jump back in here. But my point is right now, trust in your intuition. You know, separation is an illusion. Keep moving forward. Don't stay stuck in the past. That's what I was saying. Don't hold on to a past version of yourself or a past version of this person. Keep moving forward. Keep progressing. And, you know, there's something about trusting the soul connection as you move forward and as you live each day to the fullest. And trust that it's helping. What the heck? Trust that it's helping the two of you get on the same page, because we have Three of Pentacles and Four of Wands under here. So it is bringing the two of you into alignment. It is bringing you back together. And forward progression and working on your own healing will help you and this person come back together. Anyway, Three of Pentacles, Four of Wands, clear indication that there's a reconnection coming. Again, we heard middle ground, we heard conversation, we heard letting go of rigidity, compromise. It's coming in the future is what I'm hearing. So what do you need to know? Well, I've already asked what you need to know about this connection. What can you work on? Even though I already have told you what you can work on, we'll just ask one more time. What can you be focusing on right now? What can you be focusing on right now when it comes to this? We have the Eight of Swords. We have the Eight of Swords, which is trauma that can be healed. So working on... We have Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. This is actually very interesting. So Spirit's saying to focus on your crafts. I'm not talking about like arts and crafts, but focus on, well, maybe. Focus on your gifts, your talents. Focus on your own stability. Focus on investing in yourself. Eight of Pentacles. And Eight of Swords can be about, you know, work on your overthinking, work on your fear-based thinking, work on your, you know, you could be assuming the worst. Let go of anything that keeps you trapped in your head is what I'm hearing. Again, the Eight of Swords can be about trauma that can be healed. It can also be about a dark night of the soul. So Eight of Swords. This is what you need to work on in no contact. The Eight of Swords is a feeling of being trapped and victimized in a prison of self-imposed thoughts. There's something about freeing yourself from your self-imposed thoughts. So if you are dependent on a job and you are like codependent on a job, and what I mean by that is if you are someone, this has been coming up in some of my readings, career. If you are someone who is holding on to a dead-end job out of fear of financial loss or fear of job changes, or you feel like you cannot change your career, Spirit's telling you to look at that. There's something here about your career possibly for some of you. So for some of you, you could be at a point, especially if you're a divine feminine, where you're supposed to be working on your soul path, on your gift, 8 of Pentacles, and detaching from that fear or that job that's bringing you down or keeping you playing small is what I'm hearing. And there's something here about releasing anxiety and trusting in what you're investing in. 8 of Pentacles. There's an energy of dedication with 8 of Pentacles. So this could be a message for some of you if you go back and forth between, you know, wanting this person and not wanting this person. If you go back and forth between wanting a new person and wanting your past person reborn or rebirthed. You could go back and forth between believing in the twin flame journey and not believing in the twin flame journey. You could go back and forth between feeling like you want this and feeling like you hate this person, or you hate that this energy has a hold over you. There's something about balancing that energy out, finding a middle ground. If you are a counterpart and you're hanging on to this fear that it's not real and that you're delusional and you have your walls up against this person, that can also cause blockages on your side in the energy. And yeah, as far as yourself, dedication to self-growth, developing your skills, whatever those skills are, and then showing that talent to the world. We also have the Queen of Swords here. So for some of you, like I said, you could be someone who, even though you feel soul connection with this person, you could have your guard up. Remember, I was talking about it where perhaps you're someone who has like your defenses up, or you have like you could have, this is a really long reading. Excuse me. Communication. You could be someone who, you know, like I said, what was coming up was you could have said, it's a them problem. It has nothing to do with me. I'm fine. And also sharing your authentic truth. So for some of you, you're going to resonate with those career readings I'm doing, because you're probably a divine feminine who's being in separation, being guided towards your soul's destiny, your soul path, your soul purpose, which could be sharing your voice with the world, sharing your truth with the world. So that's what's coming through for that. Again, this is what you needed to hear about this connection. It's not meant to, like, I wasn't going to go into their feelings and their actions and all of this. This is what you truly needed to hear about this connection. And now I'm feeling called to get you a twin flame deck. Excuse me again. Oh my goodness. So let's see. Practice patience. Divine order is on the bottom. Practice patience here and now, living each moment at a time, focusing on yourself, not focusing on the outcome. I just want to look at this. Practice patience. And patience is the hardest, like, it's one of the biggest lessons of this journey is learning patience, especially for the feminine. Where is this practice patience card? I always find it hard to find them in this deck. Suit, is it 2? Divine order. See, I was looking for the wrong thing. Oh my gosh. Does anybody else... Divine order, by the book. Interesting. Does anybody else struggle with like instructions or table of contents like me? Because, yeah. 27. Was it 27? Patience is the ultimate virtue. You are experiencing many challenges that teach you tolerance, trust, and timing, all requiring you to practice patience, a major life lesson that you must master for your soul to evolve. This card suggests that you release control and allow divine guidance to direct you, which demonstrates that you trust the process. And your advice: 8 of Swords, 8 of Pentacles. You either trust in this or you don't. And if you don't trust the process, blockage. Practicing patience will enhance your ability to connect with your senses and teach you to let go of the idea that you are the only one who can achieve what you perceive as perfect or the right way. Remember, letting go of rigidity and coming to a compromise. This card implies that you need to get out of your own way by releasing logical concepts and surrender control, creating space for you to receive blessings that will far exceed the expectations of your mind. Rushing this process will cause you to make hasty decisions. This diminishes your ability to create at your highest capacity. Make a commitment to exercise self-control, which will enhance your ability to live more consciously in the present moment so that you can attract your greatest potential. I mean, I talked about that by the book. Oh no, Tower moment, Dark Night of the Soul, surrender. That's interesting. So let's see what you need to hear, my friends. Did you see that Tower moment just messed up the alignment? Which is what Tower moments are supposed to do. They're supposed to realign things. That's interesting. Come on now. So let's have a shuffle. We have Karmic purge, so there could be a lot of karmic things being purged right now. We have reunion, reconciling differences. So after some karmic lessons are learned, perhaps, you do have the reunion card coming out. And again, you can't come into union if you don't do the work. If you don't... The only way to come into union is if you're both evolving. Anyway. So let's see. I didn't cut that. I heard you didn't cut that. Let's cut the deck. All right. So we have practice self-love, which was coming through in your energy. It's symbolic of, you know, not symbolic. It's important for both of you to have self-love. So we have another, so far you've had 2 cards that are the slate cards, powerful life lessons that will expedite your ascension process. So you still have to do things by the book, but these things can expedite the process. So patience, allowing in divine order and divine timing. And now we have practice self-love, nurture your inner child. And in this energy right here, the 6 of Cups came out and we talked about healing the inner child, nurturing the inner child. So that's another way that you can expedite the process to do childhood healing. So practice self-love, 38. Self-love is a prerequisite for a heart-centered life. If you want the ultimate relationship, it starts with the relationship you have with yourself. Practicing self-love impacts your thoughts, feelings, emotions, your choices and actions, and your relationships. So interesting, because I feel like by the book we saw I'm having an awful time with my throat chakra right now. In By the Book, we saw the energy of the Queen of Cups and the Seven of Wands. So you could be someone who thought, I don't need to, like, I already love myself enough. I don't need to practice self-love. You could have thought that you were just fine, when really maybe there was something that you needed to work on when it came to that. The ability to love yourself is a direct reflection of how you perceive who you are in everyday life. You have experienced feelings of being unloved in many lifetimes that has left your inner child feeling neglected. No way. Remember when I was talking about neglect? Anyway. Causing you to feel separated from your inner source of love. When you feel hurt and rejected, it causes your heart to close off, most likely by taking things personally. And that card talks about that. This triggers you to react according to suppressed emotions, including feeling unworthy of true love. This card indicates that you should listen to your inner voice. When you nurture your inner child, it creates a safe haven, which helps you feel respected, heard, and loved because your needs are being met. This enables you to master the art of true love by overcoming difficulties that prevented you from experiencing loving relationships. Wow. That's interesting. So let's see what you need to hear. What's your advice about this connection, this contract? I just said contract without even thinking. What do you need to hear about this connection? We have breakthrough, processing karmic debris. What is happening? Look, we have 5-5 and 5-5. And fives are about change. And I feel as you have your breakthrough moment and process your karmic debris, your person could be releasing their lower self here. And remember, I said, by the book, that lower self needs to be released. That the past versions need to be released. Anyway, that is interesting. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know when I'm going to post this, but I'm probably going to go do a counterpart reading after this to do like an energy check. But anyway. So we have Olive, courtships that will facilitate your soul's expansion. And we have Aqua. Is that Aqua? Steps in the Take Me Home Ascension pathway. So this breakthrough moment is part of the ascension pathway. Breakthroughs are taking place. Letting go is getting easier, and you are feeling lighter and gaining clarity. It is a good time to evaluate your life and continue to release things that are weighing you down. Make sure to stay focused on how far you have come versus how far you have to go. And remember, I brought that up about how some people hear that this counterpart journey is a long one and it deters them. This card indicates that you are rapidly shifting your physical reality, creating additional karmic debris that requires processing for expanded awareness. It may feel like you are going backwards, but you are only going deeper within to reprogram old patterns while taking actions to support your new identity. Take time to process your awareness once you can see that the underlying lessons accelerate personal growth. If you are feeling resistance to change, keep in mind that the greater the resistance, the more pronounced the breakthrough. Clearing away karmic debris will provide higher realms of consciousness to help you adapt to sudden shifts. Pay attention to your thoughts, feelings, and emotions as they offer revelations to facilitate even bigger breakthroughs. And then we have the masculine twin. The twin flame reunion starts by restoring harmony within your inner soul polarities, which brings balance to your inner masculine so that your inner feminine feels loved and supported. Typically, the masculine twin flame has been emotionally emasculated and carries the stronger feminine energy within your twin flame counterpart template. If you are the feminine twin flame, you may have been carrying greater masculine characteristics. So if you think about, for those of you who are not making a connection there, the way that I think about that is that you could have been the one who was always taking action, always approaching this person, always pursuing this person, trying to control the situation, Emperor energy. And your person could have been more standoffish. They could have been more like, let them approach me. They could have been, I'm hearing chaser and runner, but your person could have been more in the receptive energy is what I'm hearing. Anyway, the masculine twin implies that the divine masculine role within your twin flame dynamic must be healed in order to restore union within. This means, interesting. I almost read this specific card in a career reading today. That is weird. This means that you must heal your inner masculine, which also strengthens the masculine twin flame. You can accomplish this by reprogramming your personal lie from not feeling good enough into your ultimate truth, declaring that you are more than enough. Pay attention to any fixer patterns that may arise and surrender control of others or situations, especially where your twin flame is concerned. Focus on your needs. This helps you own your worth as you transcend the lesser version of yourself and rise above challenges that have prevented your inner masculine from standing in your truth and feeling empowered. All right. So let's get one more. And then I'm going to do something a little weird. I'm going to get messages. We have the electric creative expression. It's so 555. No way. It's interesting because the career reading that I did was about creative expression, or it was like, anyway, I think that's interesting. And your advice, 8 of Pentacles, I said, work on your crafts, work on your arts and crafts, work on your creative expression. Where's the book? I threw it. 555555. I love that. That's magic. So the red suit, principles to come into alignment with yourself. Love it. 55. The electric. Your creative forces are being activated by your femininity and are ready for expression. And that sharing your voice, my dormant vessels, some of you have no idea what I'm talking about right now. That's insane. And I was going to get that card during that reading. What page was that on? I already forget. I lost my page. Sorry, I have to go back. 61. Your creative forces are being activated by your femininity and are ready for expression. This provides empathy and compassion for yourself and others. When the electric card appears, it's an indication that you are aligning with your inner feminine capacity to embody love, joy, and peace, which enhances your creativity. Letting go of logic helps you to shift into your heart so that you can tap into your creative flow. This ignites your primal power, the real and raw parts of who you are. Making a conscious connection with your intuition enhances your ability to trust your journey. Alignment with the magical mysteries of the universe allows creativity to flow with ease and grace. This card suggests that you focus on unlocking your hidden feminine qualities. Tapping into your emotions and following your feelings helps you integrate with deeper parts of yourself. As you open up to receiving love, it welcomes support from others including your divine counterpart, who will energetically amplify your capability to access your ancient wisdom. All right, my friends. So I'm just gonna, like, I know this wasn't a traditional, like my normal love reading, but if you're still here, then that tells me that you do feel connected to this person on like a counterpart level. Otherwise, you still wouldn't be watching this reading. I don't even want to know how long this reading is. Anyway, if, like I said, if you're someone who's still watching this reading, then I think that you probably, you know, do believe in counterparts, and I'm going to get some messages from your person's higher self for you. We do have spiritual practices here. I am healing myself through meditation and spiritual practices. It is the only way I can make myself whole. And that could be a message for you, you know. But anyway, let's shuffle these, and we're just going to get a few. Just a few messages from your person. Let's go. We have insecurities. Unsure of who and where they are in life, wears a mask to hide their feelings in fear of rejection, constantly covers up who they are in a fear of what others may think of them. If you really knew who I was and how I felt, you may not love me anymore. I'm afraid you'll reject me if I show you who I really am. So the Emperor is not afraid of, like, Divine Masculine, the Emperor is not afraid of rejection. So this person has to overcome that before they take action towards you. So let's see what your person wants to say. We have cycles, destiny, Virgo, wordless, fall, ego-driven. So your person could have been very ego-driven. Acts out of one's own self-interest, driven, you could have been dealing with the King of Wands, driven by a need to prove oneself better than others, does not truly love the person, but loves more what the person gives. My pride and ego held me back and stopped me from being my true authentic self. I'm afraid you'll reject me because I fear I'm not good enough for you. My self-confidence was just a facade. And anybody who's like super cocky and super arrogant and super like full of ego usually doesn't have the best self-confidence. They're usually the ones with the worst self-confidence. So we do have fall here. So, you know, I'm filming this in the fall, but maybe you met in the fall. Maybe there's major shifts happening right now in the fall. We have September 22nd to December 21st. We also have 9-9. So I feel like for some of you, separation, we have 9-9, which is like the energy of it's independent. And it's, you know, both of you evolving, both of you growing. Remember that 9 of Pentacles. So it could be that separation happened in the fall, or you could be separated right now in order for you both to work on yourselves, is what I'm hearing. We have wordless. Words are jumbled or words were left unsaid. Lack of closure. Unable to speak or unwilling to say the truth. Too much in their head and is unable to express their emotions rationally. And remember, your advice was to work on your 8 of Swords energy. Again, because you were connected, the work that you put into yourself, your person benefits from. So if you struggle with too much in your head and like overthinking, if you work on that, it'll help this person. And it's 80, which 8 of Swords. Anyway, there's so much for me to tell you, but I am unable to express myself in a rational way, so I rather keep quiet. So for some of you, maybe this person is still in that self-sabotaging ego energy, where if they were to come forward right now, a cycle would repeat. Virgo, I had my life all planned out, focusing on my 5-year plan, but then I met you and everything changed. I didn't know how to rearrange my life for you. I should have learned to compromise. And remember the words that were coming through: rigidity, flexibility, compromise, middle ground. So this person maybe had a hard time compromising. Virgo season could be symbolic, or you could be dealing with a Virgo. And, you know, a lot of the time counterparts aren't planning to meet each other. So they have another life plan all figured out, you know, when they come into contact with each other. We have destiny. You were destined to meet. Strong, unbreakable bond, passionate love and strong desire, deep inner knowing of divine connection, 33. I am understanding our relationship and our connection. What I once thought was trivial was something more on a higher consciousness. I couldn't understand it then, but I do now. And we have cycles. So even though destiny brought you together, again, just thinking of the description of the twin, like the twin flame journey, you're brought together, divine timing, fated circumstances, you know, you're just in that place at that right place, right time, where your paths cross very serendipitously. And at first you're magnetically, you come together, but then you're meant to kind of rip open these old wounds, and really you're supposed to be facing yourself. You know, it's funny because twin flames, this is a really long reading. Twin flames, you know, people talk about love and like movie type of love and can't live without each other type of love and romance and all of that. And it's actually quite a lonely journey. Like it's a lot of separation before you have the chance to come back into union. So I feel like you and this person, again, the why, I feel like you and this person, there were cycles where you triggered each other. Dysfunctional, unstable, hurtful, toxic. Same scenarios keep occurring, but unable to learn necessary lessons. Predictable, repetitive cycle of breaking up and getting back together again. And that's what happens until you start to do the work, until you start to do the healing and you detach. We keep replaying the same story over and over again, and it never ends well. When are we going to do better so that we can be better? All right, so my friends, I am going to leave it here. For whoever watched this, thank you. And I'm sending you lots of love and light on the counterpart journey. It's very misunderstood. There are a lot of, you know, really, there's some really strong opinions out there about the twin flame journey. And I always say, if someone is giving the opinion that it's BS and that it's BS, it just shows that they've never been in a counterpart connection. Those who have been in one, who are in one, see through the veil. It's not BS. It's an actual thing. They're rare. They are rare. And it's meant for soul growth. It's again, it's meant to awaken you. It's meant to get you both on your highest path. It's meant to align you with your soul purpose and help you come into your higher self, both of you. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. It's complicated. I'm going to leave it there. This was a really long reading. Thank you if you watched this. I know I can talk a lot when it comes to counterparts. So thank you. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.